I've noticed that lately David Leitch's last movie, Bullet Train, has gotten some hate online, and I don't understand that, because that story is so tight that you could pluck it like a bowstring, and that plotline will sing. Not that I've come to expect that from David Leitch, but it's more like that's the kind of movie I wanted from The Fall Guy, and it wasn't quite that. Welcome to Sandwich Reviews. I'm the Talking Sentient Sandwich, and I wish this movie was better. Normally, I like meta-narratives, but that's something that has to be done delicately. I'm reminded of movies like Cabin in the Woods and Tropic Thunder, which I won't spoil if you haven't seen, but all I'll say is those movies manage to poke fun at their genres, tropes, and cliches while upholding them at the same time. And that's all I wanted from The Fall Guy. But instead, the movie ended up being a boring watch that was minorly entertaining at times. But before I get into any other criticisms, I should mention just how fantastic Ryan Gosling is. He's always been a great actor who can be both comical, serious, and anywhere in between, but he carries the movie. Everyone else is great, Winston Duke and Emily Blunt included, but Gosling's charisma is the real reason the movie had any entertainment at all. There are also at least a few genuinely great jokes about the behind the scenes of filmmaking that got me, but other than that, the comedy ended up falling flat most of the time. My biggest problem with the movie is how indestructible the main character felt. At the very least, I expected the film to feature numerous stunts, each more death-defying than the last. And that may have been the case as they were filming, but I didn't see that in the finished product. There was a clear intention to set the movie in a realistic world where people get hurt doing stunts, but then the main character does one after another and walks each of them off. Gosling attempts to sell the pain and make it believable, but the moment the movie cuts to a new scene, it's like the impact to that character never happened at all. I really wish I could have recommended you check The Fall Guy out, but this isn't a movie you should spend money to watch. Maybe wait for it to go on Netflix or something, but even then, meh. But it's time to talk spoilers, so if you do care about experiencing the movie fresh, you might want to duck out. But if you're still here, I want to discuss the one negative that I haven't brought up yet, the antagonist. Not that I was invested in the movie by its end, but if I was in any way, the villain reveal would have completely taken me out. Not just overly complicated, both of the main villains needlessly did certain things only to keep the plot moving forward. They do make a point of saying they're stupid and could have gone about their plan in a better way, but sometimes hanging a lantern on it isn't enough. Maybe if the stunts were incredible, I would have let all that slide, but even that wasn't fun to watch. The movie begins with the protagonist taking a back-breaking accidental fall, and for the next 10 or so minutes, the viewer is forced to stew in the depression that followed. But after a time skip, Colt Seavers, the main character's name, is perfectly fine. I would have really appreciated at least a couple moments where his back injury flares up again, because not having that went a long way into making the movie less believable. The biggest stunts in the movie include a massive car jump and a fight on a rotating excavator bucket or something. And despite both actually being done behind the scenes, all I could see was the CG slapped on top and the fast cuts in between the angles as if they needed to hide something. The point of doing insane stunts like those for real is to pull the camera back and just let the stuntmen do their thing. But I suppose David Leitch never got that memo, because The Fall Guy just ended up being a nothing movie. I'm not left with a particularly funny joke or a memorable stunt that amazed me. In fact, I'm not left with anything. The movie was fun enough not to bore me to death and forgettable enough to make me never give it a second thought. If you've seen it, let me know your thoughts on The Fall Guy. And as always, thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe for weekly videos and reviews, and enjoy a delicious sandwich.